This won't be very long because who knows what's going to go down. I was a nervous wreck. So I was like, oh my God. It was just a whole weird night last night. And all of it with, everything turned into ice and all my branches on my trees that are way up there suddenly all the way down, hanging. It's so eerie. Like, yeah, it is eerie as shit. These giant branches that are usually way up here, and they're all hanging way down and just full of ice. Well, I went out when I tried to shake that one. It was just like solid. You couldn't even move it. It was like it was encased. And so I was like, fuck, went to bed. And I watched some TikToks, and I saw these people in Seattle on their ice and, sledding, just crashes, all sorts of stuff. Of course, I saw 100-car pileup in Ohio. And then I guess, starts a fight. People, they shouldn't even be out. And people, well, everybody has to work. Like, just the arguing. I don't even know. Like, they just are not going to stop. But I'm sure there's going to be, I won't be the only one. And I don't know what the injury list is or whatever. I saw another footage, and I think it was in Washington State by the pass. I'm not sure. Well, I saw some trucks off there, but I saw one. I'm not sure where it was. I swear it was, but they were, and it was all these big rig trucks all crashed and broken, so this is dangerous driving on ice. Like, living in Spokane, I had to, deal with every kind of weather system. I swear there was ice, like, so extreme. Even in Dallas, I remember as a kid, I had driven on ice, and it was scary because I lost control going over a bridge. And I told my dad, and he said, you always let off going over a bridge. Don't accelerate, because there's no, the roads are slickest on the overpass because there's not enough heat underneath the road. And so, and now I always lift my foot if I'm going. But there was this one night I was in an art class, and it was clear across town in Spokane. It was in the evening time, and then I left. So it was just a regular day. It wasn't anything like where you thought like danger, shouldn't go out. I don't think. I mean, I can't imagine I'd drive that far. And so when I came out, it was a complete, it was hard to even walk to get to your car. It was like a giant, thick, slippery ice rink. It was so crazy, and you couldn't control your car. I've been in my car before going backwards down a hill. It's scary as shit, especially when you're coming to a main road. It's so scary. And that drive, though, going home, like, you had no control of your car. You're like kind of trying to creep 2 miles an hour. You even tried to stop at a light. You just go sliding through. It was intense. So, and then you're having it happen in these places where people don't know how to drive it, I think. Like, and then they're just, I saw so many video footages of people's cars. I saw one of a sheriff's car. Nobody was even in it. He was out talking to somebody. And their car started rolling down the hill, hit into a boat, which hit into a truck, which hit into another truck, which knocked them all going down into the main road. I was like, man, I'm sure there's just one crazy thing after another. But, I've been in an ice storm. And in Spokane, we had an ice storm. I don't remember what year it was. But it had to be after 94, because we moved to like 93 or 94 to Spokane. So I don't know when it was, maybe the end of the 90s or something. It was really huge. We had no power for 6 days, but that one, it was also like everybody's just out doing their thing in the daytime, and then all of a sudden it was like raining, and then everything turned to freezing ice, and then everything started freezing, the trees, and all these giant trees, the branches started falling and breaking on people, on cars, on houses, and then trees broke in half. Like, literally trees broke in half, and half the tree. And so you had like oh my God, the roads, all the power lines were down, they were going, and all of that stuff. So, you know, my reference of an ice storm is not good. And so, you know, when I went outside and I saw that, and I told the neighbor, you know, the trees are frozen. This isn't good. So she starts looking it up and stuff. And so she starts getting all prepared. And I was like, fuck, I mean, what? God damn, you just got to just relax. And so I was laying on the couch, fell asleep. And then it kept being chopped up. She's having a horrible time. I'm telling you, trying to walk out there, I am so sore. This stuff, it is so heavy, and it is like so, when it's crunchy on the top and you step down, and then all of a sudden it gives way, and then you step down and then it gives way. And it's very, Stella was begging me to go out. She's begging me to go out still. And last night before I laid down, and I let her out for a minute, and she was sliding, falling, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's real good on fucking jacked up hips. And so I'm completely no. I'm sure she's sore as shit. It's so sucky too. Like I was just saying how good she was doing, and then here they come again. This fucking chemical shit and the lithium thing. I swear to God, the whole thing about that, and you know that they're spraying them. When I found out about that, they were spraying them. I was like, okay, so they use that for what is that? I just thought of the word. I'm really out of it. They use that for mood stabilizer for people who were bipolar or whatever. And so they're spraying that on us. Like, I told you, it seemed like sometimes it just, all of a sudden, it's like I just got to go to sleep. Like you're drugged. Like you can't stay awake. And I was thinking, I think that they do that at certain times, because I had heard somebody else say at 2:30 they come in and hit with a disaster in the middle of the night while you're sleeping. So you're totally disoriented. And then they'll come in and start doing evacuations. All the people keep having this happen, keep saying the same thing. And no. God, she's being such a bitch. Stella, stop it. You're not going out right this second. And so anyways, she was doing this kind of shit. And then she came in and she did that to me, and I was asleep, and I was like, oh, stop it. And then so she grunted and laid down. And so we're laying there for like 3 minutes. And suddenly there was this loud crash. Oh, I thought I was about to hear it again. Another one. I heard another one over there right before I started. Just a minute. Oh, fucking day. Oh my God, I'm fucking burnt out. I swear to God, I'm so fucking burnt out. I feel like I'm just empty. Like, but then I heard a crash, and it was scary as shit sounding. And so then I jump up, like it gave me a heart attack. Jump up. I'm looking out like, what? Where did that hit? And I couldn't see anything out there. So I jump up and I come out here and I look out, and it's so dark. And I'm trying to look in, I'm limited view. And so I was like, fuck, that had to hit into something. Like, I don't know if it, these branches are huge and heavy. These trees are so, and I kept being so nervous, like, okay, we got all these dead trees. They're all frozen. They could fall. And I kept thinking, no, they'd have to have wind. They're not going to just fall. They have to have something push them over. And then with the branches, yeah, they can bust off of dead trees, these giant heavy branches. I've been having branches all over my yard anyways. And when a branch is coming from whatever, 50 feet above you and weighs 100, 200 pounds, full of ice too, ugh. And then, so when I heard that, I jumped up and I went out and looked, and I was like, oh my God, it just looks like everything is just so icy and so wet. And so I looked at the weather, and it said, Stella, please stop it. 40 degrees. And so then I was like, it should be melting so much faster. I swear to God, this is what happened last year. If you remember me saying it didn't make sense. The temperature goes up, but the snow doesn't melt. So, it's supposed to be a 47, and then we're still under weather severe watch until 4, which they could extend that again. Right now it's 3, but we're under flash flood again. So, and we're 100 rain. The next 10-day forecast is rain, 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 rain every single day. So all of this snow gel stuff, and then their water, whatever crap that they pour on us, then that's gonna, no telling what that's about to do. And I don't even know, like, how are these why are the branches still so heavy down if they're melting? Like, why are they all like touching the ground? Like, ugh. Now that makes sense. And then out here, every fucking, it didn't matter what I said. And I wasn't saying anything spooky or anything. I wasn't saying anything crazy. I don't remember what the hell. It's like, this is so weird. How is it icing snow when it's 37 degrees? It's not even freezing. So how is the rain turning into ice? I said that to the neighbor. I said, this doesn't make any sense. So she went and looked it up and came back to tell me it's because the air above us is really cold, and then the rain comes down, and then it. It's like, I don't know. Okay, thank you. That's how, there's a bunch of that. That's what I'm saying is like, you don't have anybody to be like, can you believe these motherfuckers with this weather shit? Oh, I don't have any of that. I don't have anybody to really be like down with it. I know these people are all like, and, it's a natural disaster. It's nature. It's God. That motherfucker is always after us like that. So he's fucking trying to kill us. Yeah, I know. It's God. Your God. Science. Science is your God. Which, by the way, so I heard this lady, also, she's like, I do blood typing. I love blood typing. I'm just really into it. I study it. Like, it's so interesting to me about blood typing and where our blood comes from and why there's positive, negative, and all these different types and whatnot. And so she said that, so she did all this tracing and stuff. And so she said there is no way that it got into humans unless it came through negative, no, positive blood came from mice. Like, there's a certain thing, if it was positive or A or something, I can't remember now. I'm too out of it. But it came from mice. There's no other way it came from anywhere else. It came from mice. Then B or something like that, or the negative came from monkeys. And then this AB negative or whatever is monkey and mice or something like. And that is just what I was talking about, is this how they're mixing us, how they've created white people, and like how, we're part mouse and part monkey. Well, we knew about the monkey part, but I don't think we knew as extreme. And even this morning when I was in there, when I got up and I was like, fuck, I better take a shower if the power lines go down. It was so fucking dark, and my hair, I put so much oil in it and stuff last night. So jump up and take a shower. And when I was standing in there and I was looking at my waist, and I was thinking wasp waist, and I was thinking, did they put wasps in us to make us have a waist? Like, what? And then thinking about white Anglo-Saxon Protestant wasp, they would call them wasps. And thinking, was that some kind of category to monitor them? Like, is all this Gen X, Gen Z, Boomer, all of this is all because I said back, like, I was in this category there was nothing. Like, there was the Boomers that came from World War II. And then all of a sudden there was, let me just say this real quick, because after I saw that girl talking about that, then I saw a thing. So scientists in, I don't remember if it was America, Germany, Canada, I don't know. But they have impregnated a monkey with man sperm. And that's the wave of the future. We're going to have to start mixing with animals, they said. They already did. They just want us to know it. It's a soft rollout. It's like, get us talking about it, because that's what I keep saying. This is what we're going to have to face. The white people were created. And then remember how I had said about that whole thing with the labeling. Like, I thought it was weird because after the boomers, then I was just this, nothing. And then all of a sudden became this Gen Xers. And then, I was like, well, why are they all of a sudden naming these people? Like, that's weird. And then the Gen Zs, and then the millennials, and then the fucking, I don't even know what all we have now. Like, I think there's some after. I don't know. I don't know all these. But I start thinking, so by that generational gap, if it is like, okay, so in this period of time, we released this chemical, this medicine, this chemical, blah, 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 and then track and see, like, so how do these people track? And I'll tell you one thing is, and I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that, but I'm shocked sometimes by when I see these people saying, like, I'm Gen Xers, and seeing how old some of them look. Like, some of them look really, really old. Like, and I don't know their lifestyle. Lifestyle and attitude will, really lean you into how you're going to physically appear. So if you don't take care of yourself, you just party, you just go out and drink all the time, you just smoke cigarettes and drink whiskey, it's going to start showing on you. You can't hide how you take care of yourself. And then your attitude, if you're trying to mask your pain and suffering, you're trying to hide from your trauma and trying to put on a happy face so everybody likes you. All of those things are going to drain you. That one girl who I was talking about with the round face with the dark light around, and she was talking about how she just keeps giving and giving and giving and giving, and never anybody giving anything back. And I told her, you can't do that. It's out of balance. You have to be in a give and take, or your energy is going to begin to feel drained. And as long as you keep giving more, maybe I can get something if I give more. It's not. You're getting out of balance more. You got to pull in and center, and then start really trying to figure out, like, why am I keep giving stuff? Okay, so I want people to like me. Why do I want people to like me? Well, everybody wants people to like them, but why is it so important to me that I'm going to give something of myself away to try and get people to like me? And a lot of people are, really getting to this, like, I really just want, friends. I feel isolated and stuff. But everybody has to get into this deep hidden stuff inside of themselves. They need to purge out their pain. They need to bring it to the surface and release it. And it's just so crazy because, like, you can see all this stuff happening in the world, like, from my perspective, but, like, my perspective is they're messing with the weather. This isn't anything about nature. This is about weather manipulation and control and creating disasters in a mass murder situation that's happening right now. So, yeah, it's just wacky too, because these people who don't see, they're gonna have such a different attitude about all of this stuff. So, anything that happens, they just don't see it the way, to me, it's presented. So it's that two split reality. And I was like, man, I just don't know. Like, every time you hear of, like, somebody being sick, people are dropping dead, it's like, because it's about to go down. And then the storm, one after another. And each one, is this the one? Am I going to lose my house on this one? And now my car's under that thing and with a broken windshield, which I don't even know, like, on the top if there's damage, because it's so heavy that I went out there trying to move it. The ice, snow stuff, it was like, I don't know, a foot. When I was trying to scrape it off, I got some off. I thought I took some of the weight off, but it was just too heavy and too solid. And it was going way down. So it was way thicker looking than what I thought. But it was like, I don't know, it was thick, like, for sure, probably from the top of my head down. Like, it was really thick. Well, like that. I mean, it wasn't like, because last year it was huge and I had to go out and take it off. And it wasn't heavy like this ice snow shit that they put on us. That is meant for destruction. And then, I haven't even drank my tea yet. And then I don't even know what I was saying. I don't know. But I just know, like, it's very weird, like, to just be in this place, see what other people don't see. And then, like, the whole communication, the whole thing is so strange. Like, I don't know what is going to happen to wake these people up. Like, every fucking thing. Yeah. She was telling me they were going to leave tomorrow morning and head over to Canada to hang out with her sister for Christmas. I was like, fuck, man. I just, even if, to me, even if the roads are, a little better tomorrow, they're in total control of our movement right now. I don't know how. I mean, I've been saying this for a while. I started, like, sensing it. I could start noticing. I could start feeling it. And it started being really obvious to me. They're controlling our movement, like, in every way. The traffic, every single thing they do. And, and I know I'm right, too, because I had seen, like, I think that was on the Glenn Beck thing, that Allison girl, and she was saying their plan for the future is that Hunger Games thing and I had seen another thing about this ad, because you get your home space, your home cubicle, and then you get your electric car, but your electric car can only go 15 miles any direction. If you try and leave your city domain, your car will turn off. There will be no going between districts or areas. Will be very contained in our area. See, it's all about the controlling our movement. And there's a reason why, I told you, why they don't want us traveling in between. Because when I started doing that and it stopped with the, a lot of people just want to fly. Just hurry up, get over it. Like my daughter, but she has done some drives, but I have been doing the drive all over the place now. Been doing tons of road trips and kept seeing the same kind of things. And you see things when you go in between, when you're traveling in between the areas, and that's what they don't want to. They want to control us. Everything is about control, and so they're gonna limit us. That's what the electric car thing is about: is to control our cars, and to make it to where we're so dependent and we can't move around freely. We can't interact. Well, I mean, for a lot of people, they just want to cut them off so you don't even have family and friends. You're just in total isolation where you have nothing to do but go on your metaverse to try and interact with people. Like in prison, they're slaves. You know what I was thinking about? Because, I keep trying to stay really focused on my future plans or whatever, and seeing my little farm, and when Stella will be whining and stuff, and I'll go and I'll sit and rub her. Like, I'm always not just like telling her to be quiet. I do tell her to be quiet a lot when she just whines and whines and whines, especially by the end of the day, and it's been all day and my hands are sore from rubbing her, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, just stop. Yesterday, what was I about to say? There was something I was about to say yesterday too, and then I forgot to say it. And I was like, after I got off, I was like, forgot to say the thing that you were gonna say. I do that all the time. But what was I about to say? With man, was it? Oh yeah. So thinking about like my little farm thing, and so I was telling her, don't worry, I'm gonna get you a little farm. I'm gonna get you 2 little baby boys, and you can raise them because she's like, I want her to raise my next dogs because she's got just such a good personality, and so I want her. She's really cool. And so I wanted her to get 2 little baby boy, well, not little, because I want 2 mastiffs, um, because they're such a good guard dogs, and they're very protective, and they're not scared, and they're just so friendly and lovely, and I love them so much. And but some stranger comes, they let the stranger know, like, you're going to get through me before you get to them. So you better be ready. And so, I mean, when her mouth comes up to people, they get very scared. They get very intimidated. And I can stand there just smiling. She's very sweet. They're like, okay, okay, you know. But, you know, you need that as a single woman, I swear to God. As she definitely keeps people at a distance, especially men. You know, it's not like, I mean, men like my family and stuff. It's not like that. I'm talking about strangers, even a neighbor. And I'm always like, there's I don't know. I just wonder sometimes what she senses, you know, because dogs can sense things. So, anyways, I kept telling her, you know, don't worry, after this is over, we're gonna get our little farm. I'm gonna get you some animals. I'm gonna get you when I started telling her I was gonna get her the barn, like at Grandpa Dave's, she stopped and she looked at me and she was sitting there like, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get you a barn. And you can go out there and you can lay in your barn all day long. I'm gonna make you a little bedroom out of your barn. It'll be yours and your animals and all this stuff. And while I was thinking about all that and telling her, you know, our dream come true, then I was like, you know, I would totally hire people to do stuff. Like I mean, like, I'm not even saying this is bougie. It's like hire somebody to massage my dog. But I don't mean it as bougie, like, oh, my dog needs you know, she really does need, you know, massages and stuff like that. Her muscles get really tight, and she's big and lumbering. And so, and I was thinking about other things about, you know, the stuff you would have on your ranch or whatever, your farm. And you know, I was thinking about these older farms, and I was thinking about plantations, and I was thinking about white people. I was thinking about these droid people. I was thinking about the super soldiers and how that whole thing and how they brought in, like, especially in that fucking movie I watched the other day. Uh, some of these cowboys that would go in and destroy other people's places to take their land and stuff, they seem like robots, like in the movies, but it just really, that's what stands out to me. They're just like how the cops are right now, just very robotic. I do what I'm told. Like, I saw a guy working at a convenience store, and it was a little while ago, and he was saying that this kid came walking in, and he has on jail sweatpants, some socks, some slips, you know, those little slippers, they're plastic shoes, jail shoes to shower in, and a tank top. It's 14 degrees and ice and freezing, and he's carrying a bag, and he comes in asking for a phone. So cops released him from jail, didn't even give him a jacket. Released him out into the elements like that, didn't even give him a sweatshirt. The guy said, and then the guy had a check, he was trying to cash. And the jail gave him a $179 check, but no ID, so he has no way to cash his check. So the guy said he went and bought him all they had at that place was a hoodie. So he bought him a hoodie, but he was just so disgusted that, but, you know, I mean, that's what we have in charge. And that before they had the cops, then they had these super soldier, you know, guys that go in and destroy. Like they were soldiers, but they weren't uniformed soldiers. They're just ego soldiers, kind of like they think that what they're doing is the right thing and everybody else is wrong. And they're listening to the wrong guys, obviously. But so while I was thinking about all that, and I was thinking, you know, I think there really was some, because even on that movie Kindred, you know, and I don't know about that guy. Or it's a show. You know, it's hard to say, but it really made me start thinking all these things together is I think that there was some people who didn't just follow the protocol of being like a soldier and oppress the other people. And I had seen a thing too where they said that even with their white creation, that they at some point they had to let the white people know that they were slaves too, like they were lower, but they wanted the other slaves, the natural born people here, that they wanted to make sure, since we were all slaves together, that we didn't start getting along. So then they put the white people up a level to jail the other people. And so they were put into the role to oppress, to divide, but the people on the horses were still slaves just as much as the other people. They just were an ego because they thought they were over the other ones, but they really weren't. And so I was just thinking, about the good people and the bad people and the, white people, and then, some different souls coming in and, trying to change the energy and stuff. But I imagine that there was a lot of people, because when I was thinking about with my farm, I was like, well, what would you do? Would you pay them? Would you give them a place to live? Like if you had a lot of property, most people just want a place to live so they can live their lives. So give them a place to live, give them food. So as I was thinking about that, I was thinking, man, it really starts becoming kind of like a community or a plantation. And so then when those people were, creating their plantations, I bet you that there was some that weren't just treating them evil, that were treating them like, hey, these are my workers. I pay them, I house them, I pay them with food and, whatever they need. And they did form big families. And maybe they did have to work hard. Maybe some of them worked hard, but I don't think every single person was out there just beating them and trading them. Because, I was that one thing that the guy said, I think that was one of the guys on Kindred. And when he said, I try and give them a place to live and protect them and keep them safe, because then there was evil ones who would be out there, taking them and trading them and raping them and selling them and all sorts of stuff. Like the soldier, super soldier ones were super evil on the people. And then the other people, I think, were trying to help them and give them a safe place. But, there'd be a whole spectrum of thing. But anyways, I was thinking about, having my own little farm and thinking like I would like, like somebody to do stuff with the dogs and stuff. I wouldn't want somebody to come in and take care of me. I don't, I want to take care of myself. Like I don't want somebody coming in like I would probably hire somebody to clean my house, but I was thinking, I think there's going to be a lot of people who are looking for those kinds of jobs, like just simple jobs, like go around clean some houses and that's it, or I go around and massage dogs and that's it. Maybe when I'm going to order that vibration thing when I get another check. Now I got a windshield to get and stuff, but I'm going to get that vibration thing, and it's supposed to really help with the arthritis, hips and stuff. It sounds to me like a med bed, but it is this dog frequency mat that she can lay on, and it helps with that arthritis. So she may get better just all on that. I'm going to at least try it, because when I started seeing that, I started seeing it last week or a week before something. I kept seeing about these vibration things that dogs can lay on and stuff. And I was like, oh, so this must be like their med bed, like they're getting it set up so for dogs to have something to heal them too, because people are going to find out. Like, you've been a medical experiment the whole fucking time. Like, these categories meant more to them than they do to y'all, even though you want to hold on to your label. Oh, I'm a Gen X and I'm a Gen Z and stuff like that. But, and then when you talk about, like, you see all these different ones talking like, oh, I'm Gen X, and I'm just shocked when I see these millennials. They're just so cut off. They just aren't thinking. It's weird. And so, each one noticing, like, and that is what they did to, to see, like, well, if we introduce this into these, or we introduce this into the water, or we introduce the, what happens then? What do they do then? Do they become more docile? Do they become easier to control? Because I think that we can see clearly that whatever they were doing was working real well. And so, that's a problem for us, good for them. And so anyways, I don't even know if I'm making any sense, but to me, I'm not saying like have a plantation, but I was just thinking about how community works and how community-based, people come together and build community. And yeah, everybody has all different weird jobs, and there is all sorts of jobs. Like I saw this movie started, I didn't keep watching it because it just had come on, and then it started having this whole scene of this assault of a woman's private parts. And then I was like, oh, it was like kind of stuff like, we don't need to see this all the time. It's such, like, they're always trying to just put stuff in our, and that I swear to God, they're mostly trying to put it in the sick people's heads. And so, anyways, at the first, where it seemed like, her car had broke down and this guy was helping her and stuff like that. And she said, he pulled out this jack, and she was like, yeah, I don't even know what to do with that thing. And I was thinking, ooh, that's the problem with not being dependent, being dependent. Not independence is so, like, it keeps coming up and coming up. Like, I still can't get over that woman, 40-some years old. I swear to God, there's no way she was in her 20s. Yeah. After I just said they look so much older. But she really, she had the whole look with the short hair and stuff. Like, a lot of younger girls don't cut all their hair off yet. And but her whole thing, like, oh my God, this traffic. And she just wants to go through this whole thing to explain how it's bumper to bumper. You can't even move, and you're sitting there for like an hour, and she just wants to get to her food. She doesn't cook, and she's got to get her food. And it's just like, oh my God, this is wacky shit, man, these people. And when she was holding up that jack, like, well, or he held it up, I don't even know how to work this. Or he held it up, and she goes, I don't even know what that is. And he goes, well, luckily for you, I do. And then for that second, I thought, well, that's how community works right there. We don't all have to know all things. We just all have to come together as a group so that we can share information, and each person, play their part. And so, like, when you don't need to know how to, like, work on cars all the time. But somebody who knows how to work on cars can make money working on cars because they know how to do it. So that gives them something to, create an income. And, which, who knows how long the car situation's even going to be going. Like, this could be the end of cars right now, for all we know. And then, and all the different parts. But see, and then this movie, her not knowing, she was taken advantage of, because that's where we're at still. We're in this hell. And yeah, but we're moving towards and it's important also the building of community, because you not only do you know who the people are around you, and it is something that people long for. It's what's missing in people. It's why they go on social media, why they're looking for connection. I try and connect with people. Like, I stood out talking to that neighbor for a long time. I talked to, and I felt bad. Like, he's struggling. Like, he came out and he started talking, I could tell he's really struggling with some stuff. Like, I'm sure everybody is. Like, with the energy coming in and all the stuff it's bringing up, the isolation, the shitty weather, they're just burnt out on one thing after another. And just not knowing where we're headed and what's to come, And I'm not saying, I don't want somebody to think like I'm saying like slavery was okay. Like, I'm obviously against slavery. I'm saying we've all been slaves from the fucking beginning. We've all just been lab rats, and they've been practicing on us. And I just couldn't even believe it when they fucking come up and say they've impregnated a monkey with male sperm, man sperm, human man sperm, impregnated a monkey. You know, and that doesn't even, you know, I mean, I'd already seen about in the Neuralink lab stuff, the fucking monkey, and now they've moved it into human studies. So now they're putting them right into humans, and the monkeys sat there chewing their own fucking hands off. God damn. And I see one video after another, like, with the shit with the FDA and CDC and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it all has to come to the surface because the people who thought like these people were, I could trust these people. Like that woman trusting that fucking guy to change her tire, and he did way more than that. I don't even think he even changed her tire. I think he just did his other stuff. And it wasn't pretty. It was really, really sick. I mean, she's like, can't remember her name. She's really, really small. She looks kind of like Naomi Watts, a really small blonde. I can't. She was in that movie, the one where the girls danced on the bar, and everybody loved it so much. Everybody got so into that movie. She was the bartender, and then the guy who was attacking her was like freaking huge, so huge. I don't even know. Like, I would think that guy would get winded just getting up out of a chair. So I don't know, the whole thing, like, so he could just smash her. That was even more aggressive. The whole thing was so, it's like, hell no, no way. I am so sick of them just pushing. And I really, as they're noticing, so much of it is just to push you into just feeling like shit, like feeling down, feeling stressed, like all these movies all the time that they put out to just create anxiety, just make you feel anxious, and make you feel scared, intimidated, anxious. It's in the movies. It's all of it. It's in the air. It's in the water. It's in the movies. You know. But, you know, anyways, back, you know, to me, you know, I want to get my little place. And, you know, I think we all just need to have our own little place to call our own and to live our lives and, you know, grow our food and, you know, create what we want to create and spend time with our family and friends and stuff. So, you know, I don't know. I'm still waiting for a lot of my own truth. Like, it's a long wait. I'll tell you what. I can't even. And a lot of times, you know, it really messes with my head too. But they're always telling me, you know, that's your challenge right there. You let something mess with your head. You either believe us and you trust us and you relax into it, or you sit there and overthink it and try and control it and try and make something happen and wish and want and, you know, be weary. So you know, but it is always this, you know, self-talk battle. Like, okay, it's, you know, it's fine. And it's so weird too, because there's so many things like, okay, I release, you know, all whatever. I have no say, no control. And then I swear to God, it will just come right back in and tell me again the same fucking thing over and over and over and over and over. Like, I've been so clear and so consistent for so many years now. Like, you know, I think that they probably are like, oh my God, Kelly, how many times we got to tell you this? That's why there's so many of them always hanging out here. And sometimes Stella will just lay right here and she'll just keep looking down the hall. She'll just keep looking down the hall, and then she'll just lay there and start crying. And then she'll turn and she'll start looking up at the ceiling over here. And that's why I was like, I think that something about she sees the colors or something, like the energy puts out a color. And I saw this really cool optic yesterday when I put on one of those meditation things. That's mostly what I listened to all day yesterday, because everything I'd turn on, it would be like, oh God, no. And so it's just like, and it was so tense, and it's just weird. So yeah, it was just having the meditation on most of the time. And it had this, it looked like the central sun, and then it had these waves, rays coming out of it. And then it had these waves of color coming out. It was all these colors coming, and in this wave going in, like dancing with themselves. And it was really cool how it was moving and the rays coming out, the energy, and the way they had it going, it was way back, and how it was coming towards you. And then how all around it was like water with bubbles, which that is what the stars and stuff are, is the energy of, it isn't water like we think, it's just like a plasma kind of different densities. Like, it's so crazy because we think like this is so open, but that's a firmament that keeps it like in this bubble containment. So it's like open like this. And, but I think it's more like a womb out in the whole fucking universe. And so, and all of the stars and stuff are the watchers. They're the energies. They're all different. It can be realities, it can be watchers, it can be like everything is the stars are energy. And so they're all, so in this optic, and it had all these bubbles and the way they were moving, I was like, oh my God, that is exactly. And we are the color. We are the color that is moving out. And we're the color, and it was like this dance of color. And in that dance, we create this matter to create this reality. So I don't know, it was just really cool how that optic thing, because it was so like in the energetic rays, and then the color that is coming out that we create. I don't know. I thought it was really cool. But anyways, hopefully I didn't come across as like, I'm just not like a bougie person who thinks like they're over other people. And, but I think that everybody can play their part and work together. And, I don't think because somebody wants to come clean your house or massage your dog, that means you're over them. And if they want a place to live for their pay, and you have a lot of acres, and they can put a house out somewhere, then to me, you're helping them. But I just think there's going to be like a lot of homesteading land. But there could be people who just don't want to be in relationships. They just want to be single. They want a simple job. They just want somewhere, like a groundskeeper to live. And I mean, that happened back in the Western times too, where, people travel around and then they'd stay and be a ranch hand and stay temporary, but they just wanted to be fluid and keep going, not be stuck or tied down to anywhere or anything. So I would think there would still be people like that. I don't know, maybe they bred it out of us. Like, I don't know. It's very creepy what they're going to come out with this monkey baby. And then to tell us that this is the wave of the future. Like, it's the past that's being exposed. That's what it is. It's fucking sickening. And these people are sick, I swear to God. So, like that's not new. We know that for sure. So, anyways, I don't know. I haven't even gone on there. I don't know. I don't think maybe I did for a second. If I went on there this morning for a second, it was definitely just storm stuff. Like a lot of people, like lots of snow. People's inside their houses are frozen. Their windows, their doors are just ice. Power was already down in Texas and a whole bunch of places. So many places have no power. Extreme temperatures and no way to heat themselves because, a lot of them don't have wood ready for winter. No matter how many times you told people, get ready, they weren't going to be ready. No matter how many times you tell people, stay home, don't go, they're still going to go. They're still going to, even with those people, some people have to get to work. Well, that's what they're going to keep having to go through, some sort of hellacious thing. Because they're going to have to see, look, you don't have to go to work. That is, you feel pressure to go to work because there's things you want and you think that's the only way to get them. So that's what you are trying to do, what you think is the right thing or the best thing or the only option. That's why life's going to show you, well, there's more options. There's a lot more options. That's a choice. And it was a manipulated choice. Was it ever really a choice? And we were always pushed into a certain lifestyle by these people from the time that we were born. We're born into these people being pushed into a certain lifestyle. It's not going to happen again because now, we've woke up. But, getting everybody to wake up is just a slow process. But I think there's going to be a lot more people after whatever's going to go down. Now it's 3:30. I have to check my weather again. But whatever's going to go down, through all this stuff, then it's weird. Like, I don't know, when I was talking to the people, maybe they're starting to just like kind of question things or something, and they're just kind of staying hidden. Just like the guy who came and brought my wood, who, sees all this weird stuff, doesn't make any sense, but then not say what the stuff is. It's like, as they wake up, kind of, they just stay really guarded because nobody wants to be thought as crazy. So a lot of people like that. They start waking up and they don't want anybody to think they're crazy. It's like, oh, the only thing that's crazy is stays locked into this bullshit system. That's fucking crazy. So anyways, I'm going to try and get this downloaded and see, when I got up and I heard the crash, and I was like, oh my God, the power's going to go down for sure. These heavy branches are going to go down on a power line somewhere. It was so weird because the other day our power went out and then it went out again. Yesterday it flashed a couple times, and then I'm just shocked that I've had power this much. So, I feel really bad for all the people that don't, especially in the cold. I'm one of those people that gets so cold so easy too, and it's fucked, man. It's so fucked to be cold. Like, I would much rather choose to be hot. But all these extreme temperatures, they're just hitting us with extreme temperatures. Nobody wants extreme temperatures. But it is going to be, and this was something. So I had seen, because think about that, the wind of change. And the wind that's blowing across the nation, which coming all the way from Siberia. It's the wind of change blowing across the whole fucking world. And then I saw these people talking about, like, you think this is coming from Siberia, but I think that they cracked open the firmament, and that the wind's coming through the firmament, and that is, and I was like, oh, that's so interesting. So they've blocked it so we can't see, but I think water would be coming in, not wind. But I was like, and so he was going and talking about something with the North Pole, and another person saying, like, you can't find this, and plus way more weird sky photos and stuff, like crazy. But something about, because if you think about like this toroidal field vortex thing of the earth, and how it's kind of like a donut, and that the energy goes up and around, and then, but you got to think, like, it isn't a round ball. This is all sorts of realities and depth realms and stuff. So it's in this, but it's also this bubble thing. But so that, where they tell us the North Pole is really the whole. And I've seen, like, if you watch the flat earth stuff, how they explain it. But anyways, it made me think, like, that wind coming up through that hole, and they were saying something about it being over something as where CERN is. That might have been a different video that I saw about where CERN is and where the vortex thing is, or whatever. So I don't know, but I know everything is this wind of change, this flipping us the other direction, to turn things the other way. It's just, who knows if this is going to be the abrupt big turn, or if this is like another slow roll into another fucking crisis, disaster situation, another storm. I just hope after this one, this is our last ordeal. We get through this one, and then shit starts changing. I swear to God, I hope we don't go through this one, and then it's just backed up by another one, and backed up by another one. It's like, oh, motherfucker, man, 3 fucking years. Like, this is going to be 2023. This shit started in 2020. Like, motherfucking shit. So, it's crazy. Like, just, sitting here thinking, like, another Christmas, without my family, sitting here. I'm sure all the neighbors all feel sorry. Oh, which the neighbor across the street, she gave me a present again. They are so sweet. Like, I have the sweetest people around. I don't have where I don't like these people and I don't want to be a community. All the people are just nice as can be individually. It's just, after going through this and just seeing how I'm so different, that, I just want to be around people who are more like me. I don't want to be in conversations that are pleasing to other people and forced, and people not wanting to hear what I have to say. You know what I mean? So I want to be around, my tribe, my people who enjoy what I enjoy and like talking about what I like to talk about. And even if that's not my family, I still would want to see my family. But the people who I spend time with, like your community, you want to be in alignment with it. You don't want to be out of alignment with your community. So, and I believe that everybody has, groups of people who are in alignment with you. I think that we all have, but the challenge is, to wake up and find them, I guess. So, or, to have patience while they find you, apparently. So anyways, be safe and stay warm. And, oh, and I did hear another thing too, is after this flips that it is going to be all tropical. So like, hopefully that is all true. Hopefully these are our last storms that we ever have to deal with. Hopefully we just go into this beautiful tropical, we can all walk around wearing loincloths and, do whatever we want to do. We don't have to do this bullshit anymore. Have all this shit. But, then I won't be able to knit my blankets. I can figure out how to knit bathing suits. So I'm not going to worry about it. I feel optimistic and I feel hopeful and I feel excited. It is, very intimidating and scary hearing crashing and giant trees around you in the dark and everything is ice and slippery and your dog won't quit crying and nobody around you has any idea what's going on. So, and I have to keep taking these, like I have to keep taking really deep breaths and stuff. And I was thinking, I bet you a lot of people, because it makes you feel super anxious when you're just like, you're not breathing deep. And you really guys, take a minute to breathe in slow and deep and really feel your lungs. And it really helps you release tension. And don't forget, as I was pulling that one last night too, of that doing the deep breathes and then what you're trying to release, say it, like stress, blow it out and release it. And then when you release it, you do feel like you really are releasing this stuff and it makes you feel a lot better. But take deep breaths, because when you're feeling anxious and fight and flight and stuff, you breathe really shallow and it make you feel really anxious. So take a couple minutes and just keep reminding yourself to take deep breaths and just relax. This is very tense. It's very nerve-wracking what we're going through. So just, practice relaxation, because really it's all out of our control. There's nothing we can do. And we're under attack. And, hopefully this is the last attack that we have to go through. So stay safe and I'll talk to you later. Bye.